What's up, guys? It's Pizzo, and today we're going to be talking about a kind of controversial movie nowadays, or I wouldn't even say controversial. In some ways, it's kind of weird. It's kind of been flipped into being this kind of loved movie, and this kind of thing happens with a lot of movies that come out during people's childhoods. Like, I feel like there's a lot of um, movies that have come out, and they're seen as bad when they come out, and then for some reason, like 10 years later, then they're seen as good. And I don't know why this keeps happening. This happened with Man of Steel, and I don't remember exactly what people's thoughts were when that movie came out. I just remember people knowing that it wasn't the greatest movie ever. But for some reason nowadays, people love that movie, and there's a huge cult following for Man of Steel. So it's a weird phenomenon. But we're going to be talking about Jurassic Park 3, which is a really weird case in film history because when Jurassic Park 3 first came out, it kind of was the darkest part or like the quietest part for the whole Jurassic franchise. When it came out, it was kind of critically panned. It was not very successful. It only made $368 million, which is not good in terms of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies, given that almost all of them average around $1 billion, something around that. And honestly, it was clear that this movie was not thematically or emotionally or anything as important or rich as the first two. And that was pretty obvious and clear from the beginning. And this ushered in a whole 14-year empty period for Jurassic, where the movie came out in 2001, and we literally did not get another Jurassic movie until 2015 with Jurassic World, and that is a lot due to this movie. Jurassic Park and Jurassic World is like probably my favorite franchise of all time when it comes to movies and even just franchises in general. But I feel like Jurassic Park 3 is, to me, the weird one that sticks out like a sore thumb. And I feel like it really doesn't understand what makes Jurassic Park movies great. It only has one interesting scene, and it's when they're in the lab and they're seeing all the dinosaurs and stuff. And this is more like on a thematic level where Grant basically talks about how this is what playing God is, and it's like, okay, it brings a little more weight to the story than it deserves, but it's the only scene where we kind of acknowledge that Jurassic is more than just action movies, and all the other ones have the themes really interestingly woven into the story, whether it's well done or not. They are always there. Um, Besides that scene, though, the movie is literally just a side adventure, basically, with little to no investment in any character. And like I said, I genuinely dislike this movie my whole life. It's always been my least favorite Jurassic movie. It feels very half baked, and it doesn't feel like a full on Jurassic installment. And everything to me that came out after Jurassic Park 3 has been better. The shows, the games, the movies, everything. I know a lot of people, like I said, have have gone back and they think that this movie's like good somehow all of a sudden. Like I've seen some videos like, oh, we were wrong about Jurassic Park 3. I don't understand it. So let's talk about the good in Jurassic Park 3, because there is still good in Jurassic Park 3. No movie is wholly terrible except for a few, but Jurassic Park 3 does have good aspects to it. The Spinosaurus has a bunch of awesome moments. It is a very menacing design. It's super iconic, but it's but okay, I'm not going to get into the negatives. The Spinosaurus has an awesome design, awesome moments, and it does leave an impact in the movie for sure. It leaves an impact on the franchise 100%. The creature itself. Um, the Velociraptors or Deinonychus designs are awesome and might be in like the top three best Jurassic creature designs. They are Really cool. I love the difference in gender between the male and the female, or I guess you say sex between the male and the females, with the females being more muted colors with the kind of like splotchy brown spots all over. And they have the quills and stuff like that on the males, and the males are colorful. It's a really cool and inspired way of showing the Raptors, 100%. The pterosaur, the pteranodon designs are good in general, except for one key detail, is that they have teeth. I don't understand why they have teeth. The name means toothless wing. The name pteranodon means toothless wing. So if literally you just took the teeth out, they would be really cool designs. But for some reason, they decided to give them teeth, and this really brings down their design. If they were in Jurassic World, how they are with no teeth, it would look great. But we have to live with the reality that they do have teeth, and it really drags down the look for sure. And then the animatronics and the CGI still hold up today. And this is a kind of a legacy thing for Jurassic, is they're known for their great CGI, their great animatronics, and just general effects. And I think this movie definitely still has that great quality when it comes to that. The fight scenes look great. Um, every dinosaur is well realized. The CGI doesn't really get skimped out at all. Every scene with the dinosaurs looks great. But that's it for the positives for me. So now let's talk about the bad, just specifically with the movie. What is bad about Jurassic Park 3? One thing that is clear when you watch it is the characters are really, really bad. Grant is fine. He's mostly boring, I feel like. And they did one weird thing where they separated him and Ellie. I think nobody understands that either. They rectify it in Dominion, but doesn't take away from the fact that in this movie they weirdly separate them. I get it's I would assume their idea was to try to put Grant off, like his balance, but I don't know. It just seems like such an odd choice, especially with their relationship so well built up in Jurassic Park. I don't understand it, but it's okay. Um, the Kirby's are terrible. Amanda obviously is obnoxious. Everybody has seen the memes of her. She's a very extremely obnoxious character and does not um does not it's just bad. It's just bad. Um Paul Kirby is fine. Again, just kind of boring. He has some interesting moments. He's not the worst character in the whole franchise. It's not nearly as bad as Amanda. But Eric is, for some reason, a genius. I don't understand the choice here, but he, it's kind of to give them a reason to go on the island. But once you start thinking about the fact that he survived on an island like this, where there's dinosaurs literally everywhere, it kind of falls apart. I don't understand. There's this scene where he got T-Rex P, literally makes zero sense how he was able to get a hold of that, but it's all right. It's not the worst idea in the world. I just don't think it's just very dumb. Um, for some reason, I will give the director credit. This was a swing. It just happened to miss. The Spinosaurus usurps the T Rex in this movie as the main carnivore. I don't have a problem with the Spinosaurus being the main, antagonistic dinosaur, I would say, but making it like better and stronger than the T-Rex just kind of seems like very an odd choice in terms of I feel like it wasn't really necessary. You don't have to put down one of the more important creatures in the franchise just to make your one look cool. This has never really happened again in any of the other movies. Um, but it's just a weird choice, and the the decision to have the Spinosaurus and the T-Rex kind of be, I guess you'd call them rivals in this movie, set a really bad precedent for future Jurassic movies because every single one, especially in the uh, Jurassic, in the second two Jurassic World movies, they felt like they had to have a big bad dinosaur or a huge fight at the end, and it's just not necessary. We don't need to. Not every story needs to build up to that. And I think Jurassic Park 3 is the reason for that happening. But generally, as a movie, like I said, it's honestly unnecessary and it's a useless movie to the franchise. It adds little to nothing in terms of actual thematic depth or anything beyond just being a popcorn flick. And it just felt like when I watch it, this movie really feels like it was made out of obligation, to keep the franchise alive and not actually furthering the themes of the original story in any way. I understand. I've heard the director talk about how he wanted this to just be a fun movie that everybody enjoyed, that kind of was easy to watch. And, you know, I understand that thought process, but I feel like when you watch the first two and then you watch this one, it's like, this is weird. Like, where did this come from? But I understand the sentiment from the director, but I just think it's not this franchise should not be about making fun side adventures personally, but you know, it's all right. All right. So, in 2025, Jurassic Park 3 is seen as completely different than what it actually is. Um, a lot of people go back and say that this movie is good, and we've been wrong about it all along. And this honestly reminds me a lot of the Star Wars prequels because a lot of people, those two franchises have kind of mirrored each other. I feel like with the new franchise, with the new sequels, people have that weird love hate relationship with them, or they feel differently about them. Some people like them, some people don't. I think the Jurassic World sequels definitely fared better than the Star Wars sequels, but a lot of Star Wars fans don't like the Star Wars sequels, and now they want to say the Star Wars prequels are good, which is insane to say because those movies are horrible. There's little to nothing that is redeemable about them, besides a couple characters, besides a couple scenes. Revenge of the Sith is not the worst movie in the world, but they're still all three of them pretty bad. And I think with Jurassic, this has also happened where now a lot of people dislike the Jurassic World movies. They don't like the new direction, so now they want to say Jurassic Park 3 is good, and they can both be bad. You can dislike both of them. You don't need to put just because you don't like the new direction doesn't make the old automatically good because Jurassic Park 3 is not good. Now, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. If you liked the movie, that is fine. I totally understand. There is some stuff that is redeemable, but just because you don't like the new direction doesn't make what has come before better, especially in this case. And I feel like a lot of people unnecessarily hate on those Jurassic World movies. And I feel like each of them, even if you dislike them, even if you think they are cash grabs or they just don't understand Jurassic or whatever, they do attempt to swing at a big idea. And while they most of the time and a lot of the time do not stick the landing, and a lot of times they have a lot of problems, it's a lot different from Jurassic Park 3, which is a movie that I think is creatively terrible and has little to add to the story as a whole, like I said. So, and another thing is that tells me about this is that these like there's a lot of creators nowadays who, with new movies coming out, new Jurassic movies, they go back and they rank the whole franchise, and for some reason now Jurassic Park 3 is like up there. It's like up there in the one of the better Jurassic movies. Like usually Jurassic Park and Jurassic World are seen as the two best. Then there's the Lost World, and sometimes it's above the Lost World, and I don't understand that. I truly think this is the bottom of the barrel for the franchise. I think it's not even comparable. A lot of people, like I said, don't like the Jurassic movies, but they do try something. Now that doesn't mean it's good. That doesn't mean it's quality. That doesn't mean it's not misguided. Sometimes it is, but the, you can commend a movie for that. And I like the Jurassic World movies. I like all three. I like Jurassic Park 3 too, but my main point is that I think a lot of people now look back with rose tinted glasses on this old movie, Jurassic Park 3, and are now retroactively saying it's good just because they don't like the new direction, which is my biggest problem. Um, and now the Spinosaurus is like an icon of the franchise. And I don't think that's a problem, but in terms of the whole movie, like how it's treated, I think it's one of the worst depictions of a dinosaur in the franchise. It is a murderous freak chasing through the them through the jungle the entire movie. Um, and like a lot of people will point to the Indominus Rex, and I understand that the Indominus is also treated as a monster and stuff like that. But that's a hybrid with heightened intelligence, and it's kind of explained, and it's supposed to be thematically pushing the boundaries because it's the Indominus Rex. It represents everything that the average moviegoer thinks about a dinosaur, and that's critiqued in the movie. Um, but truly, the Spinosaurus feels nothing more than a movie monster, which to me betrays the nature of the franchise. And I can go on to a whole conversation about how Rexy is treated in the Jurassic World trilogy because she becomes a superhero, and I totally understand that. But the Spinosaurus really is a weird, like villainous, overly seductive, an overly sadistic monster. So I just think that is a really weird choice that I think really brings down the movie. And a lot of what made the original and the Lost World great was the idea of these being the best and most realistic interpretations. And yes, that has been lost in Jurassic World, for sure. Um, but I just think it's that it kind of as a trilogy with the Jurassic Park movies in a vacuum, it just sticks out a lot. And um, at the end of the day, I just chalk this up to a lot of people looking at the past with the rose tinted glasses because Jurassic Park 3 is a very nostalgic movie for a lot of people, especially my age. There were always these video tributes of the Spinosaurus, and it affected a lot of people's childhoods. And the Spinosaurus was such a cool animal. It is a very cool animal. Um, but I just think, like I said, my biggest problem when it comes to this whole view of Jurassic Park 3 is putting we look at the new stuff that's coming out and we don't like it. So we'll hold on to the stuff that's older that we're more comfortable with that we automatically for some reason like now retroactively even though we all know it's bad. The examples I brought up, Man of Steel, just because you don't like the new direction of Superman with James Gunn doesn't make Man of Steel retroactively good. I think this also goes for the Star Wars trilogy or the prequel trilogy as opposed to the sequel trilogy. Just because you don't like the new direction of the sequels doesn't automatically retroactively make the prequels better. So I guess my ending message is just because you don't like the new direction, don't hold on to what's more comfortable, what you've seen before, and try to hold it up as this great example of the franchise because ultimately it is not. Um, Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. If you love Jurassic Park 3, I'm glad you do. I think it's great when people have those movies they can enjoy that not everybody enjoys. I do not, but I'm more talking about my problem with people going back and trying to say something's good when it's actually not just because they don't like the new stuff. So, yeah, that's basically it. I know this is an unpopular opinion right now, but I feel like somebody had to say it. I don't understand why there's so many channels and creators now trying to claim that Jurassic Park 3 is this great, we were wrong about it all along. It's a good representation of Jurassic because it truly is not. If you don't like the Jurassic World movies, that is fine. Dislike them both because they both have their problems. They both have major issues when it comes to representation of the franchise and pushing the themes 100%. But just because you don't like Jurassic World doesn't make Jurassic Park 3 automatically good.